Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cador Digital Television. My name is Philemon Bet. And today I'm very happy to sit here and with my panelists who are going to discuss a very interesting topic where we'll be discussing about the future of young people. And the topic of the day is why students are banning their own future. And with me, I have a panelist of very young, energetic, and professional people who are going to help us to tackle this topic. From my far left, we have Winnie Mayo, senior moderator, a mentor, and also deputy principal in a high school. Next to her is a young lady, Salome Wairimu, a student at Kcador Primary School. Also, she's an artist at that tender age, popularly known by her clip that really went viral. They used to call it Janga La Corona. Next to me here, Daktari Kieng, who is the CEO of Cador, and also a mentor and a moderator, senior also. Next to Daktari is Nadia Wakio, a student at Kcador Girls. Also, she's working on a podcast. She has a talent on that area. We'll soon hear from her. And to my far right, Elias Simon, senior moderator, a CEO of ANC, and also a pastor. Welcome, and we are going to discuss about this very important topic. So I want to welcome all of you to this discussion of the day. And to start us off, the topic of the day is why students ban their own future. That is our topic today, bearing in mind what is happening at the moment. And just to put the question into perspective, I will just welcome Daktari to put the question into perspective. Daktari, what do you think so?
Yeah, thank you so much, Philemon Bet, for this opportunity. We are here and welcome viewers. This is an interesting topic as we do this discussion while learners are home, preparing to go back to school because of the same issue. We've had learners come home because of the unrest that we saw in the schools. We are discussing this so that learners who are at home and also parents and even teachers can be able to benefit from this. And maybe we can use this information to bring change in both our schools and our homes. Now, putting this into the context is that we've had learners, students, children being a headache to the society. And everyone is complaining, everyone is crying, parents are crying, teachers are crying, and we've seen many different groups shifting blames. Teachers saying the problem is parenting, and the parents say the problem is school. Some people are even blaming the church, others are even blaming the government, others are saying it is because of corona. So that is where we are, and we want to find out where is the problem. As the question states, why are students banning their own future? Or I would even say that why and how are students banning their own future? Because we are using this term in a symbolically just to mean that students actually, or children, or the young people are destroying their own future. It is actually destruction. In students, the actions, the behavior, whatever the students are doing today, almost everything they do. As a matter of fact, we are seeing students destroying their own future through a lot of things. For example, the very problem that we are facing today, banning of schools, they are banning their future. When you ban your own dormitory, when you ban your own clothes, when you ban your own house, you are banning your future.
Okay.
Actually, when you are doing drug abuse, you are destroying your body. When you are indisciplined, when you're not going to school, this is like banning your future. So that is the question we are discussing today.
Okay. Thank you, Daktari, for just to pick it from where and to bring Madam Winnie into this conversation. Madam Winnie, 4th of January this year, the government and the Ministry of Education came up with a very tight timetable. Could you tell us, now that you are a teacher yourself, could you tell us that could really, or made the students really began burning their school because of tight programs, a lack of free time, because of things that were really needed to be handled within a short period of time? Madam Winnie?
Okay, thank you, Beth. I wish to say that, viewers, it is really a big thing that is coming to our society that we need to look at. And I wish to say that as much as we are saying it is the calendar, or the change of calendar of academics, I would wish to say it will boil back to how we respond to pressure in the society. That it is not about the school calendar that has actually made the students to burn their future or destroy their future. The issue is the way they look at things, the way they take things. We saw the government pushing the syllabus so that we can cover the 2020 that we lost, which is acceptable. And we may say yes or not yes, that it is the cause of the burning of schools because, one, the pressure is because they are burning because they are stressed out of pressure because of the academic calendar. But it will take us back. Why can't they contain this pressure? I would want to say that when we look at this scenario, it takes us back to the social responsibility that Daktari has talked about, that we are losing the sense of touch of our future life, that we don't have the responsibility of being accountable for our actions because we don't look at what we do today and compare to the future.
Okay. Thank you, Madam, for that. There is a lot of things that really we are trying to unlock and understand. And Simon, could we say that based on what Dr. Harry said, as one of the things that is happening currently, students really are putting their dormitories and their school on fire. Could you say that their priorities are misplaced?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Bet, for the opportunity. And I'd like to start by saying that talk about schools being banned, it is going to get worse. Okay, that's the bad news. It's going to get worse if we don't do something. Why? Because the issue of schools being banned has been here from 1980. The only challenge is that we as maybe Kenyans, we look at it like, oh, it's because there's COVID-19, or it's because the syllabus has been crashed. But this has been here for some time. In 2016, we had 120 schools touched by students within a year. So it's a phenomenon that has been there, it's been happening, and that's why I'm saying that if you don't do something about it, I think it's only going to get worse. But that's a big if. And asking about priorities, I think it comes down to, as a society, as schools, as students, because not always, because some people say that we're banning schools. Of course, there are reasons why it happens. It can't just come from nowhere. Okay, there are reasons why it happens. Maybe because someone is not happy. We had a school in 2018 whereby they decided to ban the school because the principal refused them from watching English Premier League. We had another school whereby they banned, they actually locked down, they locked 4 prefects in the dorm and they set the dorm on fire. These are scenarios that are happening. And what you're saying is that, well, things won't always be the way we want. But then how we address those issues, that's like Madam Winnie was saying, how we address those issues, that's the most important part. How we address those issues. Because sometimes there's this mindset that if we ban it, if we ban the school, then the government will be able to act faster. They'll be able to listen to us. But is that the best way? Okay, is that the best way? Have we really counted the cost? So I'll say that yes, things won't always be fine, but then how we address the issues is a problem.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Simon. Nadia, now that you're a student and you're still in high school, trying to map your future and all that, Why do you people ban the schools? Why? Yes.
I'll speak from a student perspective. Number one is this group psychology in schools. We think as a group, okay? So we tend to do things as a group, but we don't understand that we have individual consequences, right? And then there's also, in a way, parents are to blame. That's my perspective. Because in the previous generations, if a parent says no, it's a no. If a parent says yes, it's a yes. But today we have to negotiate with our parents. When my parent says no, I have to negotiate with my mom, for example, until she says yes. My interests have to be taken into consideration, okay? In this generation, okay? Then there's also one thing, the teacher-student relation, okay? So most teachers are teachers because it's a job. They don't take it as a call. You know, when it's a call, they're going to listen to you. That's what we want as students. We want teachers to listen to us. We want them to understand us. But then teachers are authoritarian these days. They tend to put more pressure on academic sides. They don't want to put our interests into consideration. So we have to vent out in different ways. For example, by striking, banning schools. Because in Kenya today, the bigger the impact, the quicker the reaction. Yeah, so that's my take.
Okay, that is very interesting. You've heard from her, Daktari.
Sure. You only banned one, we banned two.
It's a kind of competition.
Yeah.
But just to pick from, there is a very important, point that you raised. And Daktari, I want you to react on that. She is blaming the parents. Do we have a problem with parenting, Daktari? Is the parents to be blamed with the entire thing that is happening?
Definitely, we will blame the parents, and I would say 80% of this problem is we will go back to the parents. Actually, the huge burden, the huge responsibility will go to the parent. That parents are not prepared for this. I've always said that we've come a long way from agricultural age to industrial age to information age, now moving to conceptual age. Now, while we were moving from one stage to another, from agricultural to industrial, from industrial to information, we were not prepared as parents. And parents are not really prepared in any way to handle the child of the information age. Now, we are talking about this, and we are saying parenting is the main issue here. Parents are not, like she's saying, she's speaking facts, that parents today cannot even make decisions. They will always ask their children to discuss so that they can come up with a solution. They will always depend on the child. The child will say which school they want to study at. The child will say what type of, when to report, for example, if there is something to do at home, to do some piece of, maybe to go to the shamba, or maybe to wash the clothes, or maybe to wash utensils and like that. The child will say when they want to do it or not. Oh. Now, look, we are blaming parents, yet again, there is another problem.
All right.
That these parents are not well prepared. They were not prepared by their own parents. You see that? Now, we have parents here who are not mentored. And so, to me, I would say we are blaming parents. But again, we are blaming mentors. We are saying we have never mentored the parents, we have never prepared the parents so that they can prepare their children. And this will continue forever, because if the parents are not prepared, they will not handle these children. The children will become parents and they will never handle their own children. So the problem,
is a circle.
Yes, it will always continue.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Daktari. I think that the parents who are watching us at this point of view, it is very important to listen and don't touch that dial. Madam Winnie, there is something that we are talking about, teacher-student relationship. Is it one thing? Is it wanting? Is it something that we need to think of? Is it something that we need to reconsider and take it seriously? Is this something that is really making these children think of doing nasty things, such as burning down their schools just to be heard? Do we have a problem with this relationship, Madam Wynne?
Thank you, Bet. I would say yes, because of what we've said, that we are growing. We're in a society that we are moving, and we are all caught unaware because these things are taking so fast, taking us at a higher speed. The teachers, the way our young students are said, at times we want to do things the way it was being done in our age, during our times in school. We would want to push, but I want to say that being a teacher for the last over 15 years and being a deputy teacher for some time, I have learned one thing. The students don't have issues. The issue is how we approach their issues. And it has come out very clear that they want an ear to listen. And the way Dr. is talking about mentorship. So how do we mentor if we don't listen to them? So the teachers out here to tell you that let us listen to them. Let us give them direction on what they have. That if there's a problem, let us find the root cause of this problem so that we can understand and work on the same wavelength. I would want to say that the students that we have, I don't know if it is because of technology or the change in the society. It is a group that they always see ahead of many of us. They always act at a higher speed than us. So the best thing that we need to do is we need to listen, we need to talk to them, we need to counsel them, we need to slow them their speed, put a check in what they are doing. It is not about the teacher-student relationship, it is the understanding levels that we have, that students and teachers always look at things in a different way. But by the end of it all, they're actually talking of the same thing. We are having the same point of understanding. It's only that we refuse to listen to the student because that is a student. I would want to say that the best way to handle this issue of destroying the future is let us listen, let us understand their views, let us give directions, let us guide them accordingly, the way my friend Simon was saying, that this problem is yet to grow if we don't find the root cause. And it is very clear that the root cause is actually that communication, that understanding. And I would want to say that in schools, the best way to handle these issues of students is let them have the proper communication channels, and let's have a counseling unit. Let us have people who interrogate these issues and find an amicable solution, because I think that is where the challenge is. We don't listen, we want them to walk our way, and their way is different from ours. That is the point of getting away from each other.
Okay. Salome, I know this topic is a bit way beyond you, but I just want to ask you a simple question. Do you think it is good to ban schools?
Thank you, Mr. Bet. But I don't think it's a good thing to ban the school, because you don't know that. Let me say, for example, if you take your son or your daughter to a school, then you've already told her that it's good to do this and it's good to do that. Then let's say the child doesn't focus on what you told him or her, then accidentally he or she can do something unexpected, and that banning of the schools, from what I'm thinking, the banning of the schools, it's not a good thing. But you as a parent, if you don't mentor your child well, if you don't speak to your child well, then if your child attends the school, and let me say, for example, if your child attends the school and you didn't mentor your child well, he or she is going to do a bad thing. And let's say this thing of banning the schools, it comes from the bad companies at school. You don't know if your child is in the bad company or he or she is in a good company, because bad companies lead someone to where he or she is not supposed to be. And I can say that the banning of schools is not good, yes, but it comes from the bad companies at school.
Good point, Salome. Good point. Simon, I really don't know whether the parents are speaking to their children. They are speaking. We have Salome here, we have Nadia here. They are speaking points. And my question to you, Simon, is do parents really sit down and have time to speak with their children and find out all these things we are discussing about?
Well, that's a good question, and something that maybe you should be able to look into. Let's dig deep to the root cause of all this. Most parents, especially parents of this time, they struggled when they're growing up. Some of them went to day schools, went to school without shoes, had to work while they were still in school to be able to pay their own school fees. And because of that pain, they say that my children never go through the same experience. And thank God, they can now afford the means, okay? They can buy the children the shoes they want, the clothes they want, take them to the schools they want. At least they can be able to do something. But now the challenge is that to be able to sustain that lifestyle, both parents are so busy that they have no time for their children. And therefore, instead of having sitting down to have the discussion, they prefer to gift their children with things to replace their presence. So instead of looking for time to be able to sit down and have a conversation, they prefer, because the parent is busy. Probably they work in Nairobi, or they work within near home. They leave very early in the morning. They come back very late, and there's no time for conversation. And any time that they find is okay. What? Because look at it this way. We want to be approved. We seek approval, even when you're adults. Okay. So how do you know that our children appreciate us as parents? Is when they're happy. So how do you make them happy? Give them things. So we prefer, instead of sitting down and having the conversation, we prefer to just gift our children. But let me tell you this, that presence cannot replace your presence.
Okay, that's a good point.
Okay? Your presence as a parent to your children cannot replace your presence. You need to be there. Don't gift them. Just be there for them, have this discussion, talk to them. Let them know that life is not always yes, because that's another challenge also. Okay? Earlier we were having this discussion, and some of our parents, we as parents, we are bosses in our workplaces. We do promotions, we do hiring. Let me ask you, the kind of character that you've taught your children, this being so soft, do you think if today you are not there as a parent, could they survive with that tenderness that you've given them? If all you have taught them is saying yes, yes, yes. The life out there does not care the generation, honestly. That's our part. We're saying that, of course, I agree with Nadia that these are different generation, but life is still the tough life that we've known. So we need to have this conversation as parents. Let's tell our children that it's okay, I love you so much, but this is a reality on the ground. Things are not easy.
Thank you, Simon. Daktari, a lot of things are coming up. And it is very interesting that when you speak to the students who really are at home at the moment, they do speak with their parents, all they are saying is to blame other things apart from them. They are saint, as you see them. They are blaming the teachers, they are blaming other things, they are blaming the program at school, they are blaming so many things. My question to you, Dr. Who is to be blamed? Do we blame the government? Do we blame the technology? Do we blame the parents? Or do we blame the teachers, for that matter? Who is to be blamed? Or are we blaming the culprit themselves, who are the students?
Yeah, none of the above.
All right.
None of the above. The problem is more complicated than we think.
All right.
And I would wish that someone listens to me. The problem is more complicated than we think. It's actually, when you ask every parent, some parents are even wondering why their children are victims of this. You will realize that some parents whose children participated in such kind of actions will even wonder, yet they think they have done everything. They have provided everything. They have been talking to their children. When we talk about have time with your children, they don't understand what it means. Now, what I'm saying is, let me go back to what Aristotle says. Aristotle says that in the society, we have three types of people. We have the politician, we have the philosopher, and we have the citizen. Three types, three people, three categories. Right. You can either be a citizen, or a politician, or a philosopher.
Okay.
Citizen, philosopher, politician. Yes. And this is where the problem is. And Aristotle and even Socrates, they say that the person who should lead is actually the philosopher. When I talk about the philosopher here, I mean the wise person. I mean the elite. I mean the educated person. The person who understands what is supposed to be done. That is the person who should lead, who should be able to manage, who should be able to tell us what to do. He is the expert who should be listened to by the politician and even by the citizen. But when the society is led by the citizen or by the politician, we are doomed. Now look, we do not need to blame the parent, the student, whoever. Where we are the person we should blame, or the group that we are going to blame, is the society. And when I talk about the society, it's coming back to all of us. But now, who are all of us? It is the leader. It is the person who is leading all of us. And these problems were not detected. As I'm saying, the problem is not parenting, the problem is not school pressure, the problem is not examination, the problem is preparation. We did not prepare ourselves for this. We did not prepare our parents for this kind of a problem, for the 21st century problem. It's bigger than we think. What I'm talking about is the 21st century problem. That now it's an information age. We are all there. There is the internet, there is the mobile phone, there are so many distractions. Our children find themselves they even don't understand what they are supposed to do. Now, the reason why I don't want us to really just blame the parent here is because even the parent is not capable, does not have the ability to mentor their children, because they cannot give what they don't have. Our parents in the first place cannot do that. Even if we give them all the time to stay with their children, they might not manage to do this. Reason is because they are not mentored. It's because they were not prepared. I want you to imagine in the next 10 years or 15 years, the children who are banning schools today will be parents. Now, how will you expect this child who banned a school to also manage a child and mentor the child?
They'll ban the homes.
They'll ban everything. Now, what I'm saying is, we need a serious program that can be able to handle parents, program for parents to even mentor them and prepare them. Look, we've been to schools.
Right.
We visited so many learners and listened to them through consultations and so forth. And majority of students will tell you that they are just wishing that schools could be there would be no closing of schools because they don't want to spend time with their parents. They are saying, my problem is my parents. Look at that. Now, we are saying, spend time with your child who does not want to spend time with you.
Correct.
Look at that. Now, these parents are even problems. So some of them are even problem with their own kids. And the children are praying, some of them are praying that the schools can open so that they can go and even meet the teacher and interact with other people other than the parent. Now, what I'm saying is, we are not prepared for this. The problem is not parenting, because, the problem is parenting. But what is making the parent not to parent? What is it that is making the parent not to do what is supposed to be done? Let us go back to the causes. What is making the parent not to do this work that we want them to do? They have no ability to do it. They do not know what to do. They need mentorship. So, first of all, we need to mentor the parents so that the parents can mentor their children. So we need a serious program. We need to think as leaders. We need to think as elites of this country and bring in a program and pay the price for mentorship. We need to pay the price in terms of money, in terms of time. Even the government should come in. The government actually should create a proper program where experts can be involved to really train even our parents so that they can have the ability to mentor their children. It's not a one-day thing. It's not a one-year thing. It will be years. And that is what I think.
Thank you, Dr. I think what is coming out clearly is that as a society, we have a huge problem that really need a proper system. And Dr. I will get back to you much later and tell us, you seems that you have a way that we can do all these things. I will get your thought on that. But I want to bring Nadia on this. There was something that Madam really talked about, and that was communication flow. The schools, the students, I want to believe that a school that has a population of 500 students, not all of them will agree with a few who are planning to do nasty thing in the school. My question is, why is it that we, the teachers and administration, don't get the information prior to this scam? Why? Why is that so? Can you tell us some of the things that happen that prevent the rest of the good students who eventually will be affected by a deed that is done by a few, and they are not ready to report to the administration? Why is that so?
If I'm getting your question right, it's why this issue won't be presented earlier to the administration, right? So I've been in this situation before. We are threatened. We have a lot of threats from those who initiate things like strikes and banning of schools. In a school that I know of, I won't mention the school, some students were told, if you don't join us in doing this, we are going to finish you. Let me use that term, okay? So if my life is at stake, why should I risk going to report this issue to the teacher? All right, number one, my life is at risk. Number two, I'm not even sure if I go to the school administration, they'll listen to me. Most of us are usually being discharged in a very bad way. We're being told you're wasting a lot of time or listening to things that won't even help us. You know, in a school setup, it's not just about academics. There's so many issues that surround us. We have friends who come from different places. We have company, good, bad company. So we are influenced in both good and bad ways. So my issue still remains on the teachers listening to us. If they could be listening to us as we want them to listen to us, we would open up to them. If I know a strike is being planned, I will know who to run to. Ningekimbia, I will run to the school administration to tell them my fellow students are planning a strike. But then they don't listen to us. We have guidance and counseling departments. I don't refuse. They are there, but they are not working. I want a situation where I come and confide to the guidance and counseling teacher. They listen to me. They give me good advice. Not being discharged, not being told, go to class, study, come to me later. I won't study. So my problem is the listening issue. If I come and tell you my problem, if I confide in you, you have to listen to me. I've confided in you, not to the whole school community. I don't want to be stigmatized out there. That's why I came to you. I didn't go to the whole school community. So how will I feel if I walk around there and then everyone is like, look at that girl. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want you to help me address my issue so that when you have an issue as a school, like if my fellow students are planning a strike or banning whatever, I'll come to you. But then if you didn't listen to me before, why should I come? You won't listen to me again.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was deep. And I'm glad that you say those things.
As you listen and you continue maybe asking questions,
Yes.
I just want you to, picking from what she has said,
All right.
I want you to see the reality that now we as a society, we have a problem. She wants teachers to listen to the students. She wishes that teachers would listen to us. That is what the students are saying. She speaks on behalf of so many other students.
Very true.
And why are the teachers, my question is always philosophical. Why are the teachers not listening? That is the question.
Yes.
Why are the teachers not listening? Why is the principal not listening to the teachers? And why
Because,
are the
because
teachers,
he's a principal. Principals are supposed to address, not listen.
you look at that.
That doesn't look at issues.
You can look at that.
Yes.
Why are the teachers not listening to the student council? And just maybe why the student council are not listening to the other students. We are a male student here. What are you telling me? Now, we have a problem. We have a problem that everyone needs mentorship. And I would say we need to really invest in mentorship. We mentor our teachers as well as we mentor our parents. Mentoring here, it means creating programs. There is no way you are going to get out of this without creating necessary programs and putting money into this. Look, I've seen some schools have never taken their teachers outside for kind of mentorship, for workshops, for seminars. And teachers have always, for several years, they have always been there in the school teaching as if they know everything. They also need to be mentored. They also need to be trained on communication skills, on leadership issues. Now, again, the Ministry of Education should all allow the schools to take teachers out. Should allow. It's been also a challenge. You realize that even at this point in time of Corona, the COVID-19, we are schools, sometimes some schools want to take their teachers out and they're told, no, you cannot go out because we don't want you to, there is COVID. We are saying there is COVID, but also we are having more serious problems than COVID. Students are banning their schools, they are banning their own future. We need to mentor these teachers so that they can be able to handle the students in the school. Allow mentorship to take place, use money to mentor people, take people for exposure programs, let experts talk to us, let people come to our schools to speak to our teachers. Gone are the days when we used to believe that teachers know everything. Teachers also need, we say before you become a good teacher, you must become a good student. Yes. Before you become a good leader, you must become a good follower. Yes.
Thank you, Dr. I think we are reacting from what Nadia really spoke about. To me, that was the spot on of all these things. And I want to pose this question because now, Madam Winnie, you are a teacher yourself. You are in charge of discipline, and you interact with most of the students. And my question is, teachers, you don't listen to the students. Why? Why don't you listen to them? That is from her. She's a student. You don't listen to them. Why?
Mr. Bett, I want to say it is true what Nadia is saying, very true. Being a teacher, and I think because of the mentorship that I've gone through, I do a lot of listening. I do a lot of communication. I do a lot of mentorship to the students. I do a lot of guidance. Why? Is because, as the way Nadia said, these students have issues, so many issues emanating from home, issues emanating from themselves, issues from the academic side, and they have the peer influence. And I would wish to say that what the TSC is trying to do, it is true with the training that they're trying to put in place, it can help. But the approach is also another challenge that is making things even more worse because they are using more of a command method that you must go through. But I wish, the way Dr. is saying, they should approach in a very amicable way, trying to get through and talk about how we are supposed to handle the information age, because the problem is the information that is with us. We don't know how to deal with it. So the teachers listen, yes, but you find they don't have the answers. Some of them, these issues are major, very big to them to handle. I would want to say that, I don't want to mention where, but their parents. One was actually telling me this midterm break, the people have gone for their break, but the student has not gone home. And the student left to a friend's place. Why? Because what Nadia said is, I'm gathering the information, that is listening. This student doesn't want to go home because nobody's listening to her. This other student maybe does not have somebody to talk to in school. So she's venting out to a different direction. My take on this listening of the teacher is that teachers have a lot in their plate, and they need some motivation. They need moral understanding. The society we are in, the technology has taken us by surprise, that we communicate in technology. We want this information, we want the other information. Teachers are busy trying to beat the deadline on information, to be online subscription and remittance of the same information. And here is a student who has a challenge. So which comes first? The way Nadia said, some of us, maybe teachers, are there because they want to get to earn a living. I wouldn't say yes or no, but at times when you don't get your hands meeting, you don't have time to listen. You'll find ways of trying to evade that problem, because by the end of the day, it will not help you even if you do that. So it is a call that when you talk of teaching, it is more of a calling actually. And we are missing that calling in many of us today. That we are there because it is a profession that maybe I landed there by accident, or because I wanted a soft landing, or because of other factors. But in the real sense, and I would want to say, viewers, let us have teaching as a profession that is actually going to change the scenarios that we have today in our schools. Let us have that listening, the way Nadia said, because that is, the only thing is communication and listening. I have had cases of students telling me some very deep issues touching them. Some of them at times even they think of committing suicide. Why? It's because there are so many things that are at home, and here in school we are pushing them. So they want to take the shortcut. So the banning issue, or the banning of this future by the students, it is not their liking. They only require a listening and direction. They only require somebody to tell them, no, it is your responsibility to do 1, 2, 3. Can you own up yourself? Your future is at your hands. Just trying to trigger that word and making them see the reality is what is making a difference. So as much as we would say the teachers are not listening, it is only that they need more of direction on how to listen and what to listen at and what not to listen to, what to share and what not to share, what to do and what not to do at particular scenarios. And that is the best thing that we can do to make this thing work. Let us get the root cause by listening, understanding. I'm happy because we have one of our youth here who has actually said clearly, things are moving very fast. Daktari has talked of the 21st century. When technology came, were we ready? Were we aware that the technology will come and take over everything? We were not. We are seeing our children understand so much. As a parent, at times the children know more than what I know. And they are more witty than us. So the best thing we need to do is we need to understand and give them a chance to explore the information age and come up with new issues, innovations, rather than using their energy for the wrong purpose. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Winnie. From what we are getting from Madam Winnie, Mr. Simon, to me what I'm getting is that we have a deaf and blind society. And no one really seems to see or to know exactly what is happening. And that brings me to ask you a question that this event seems to be coordinated. One school bans today from this end, tomorrow you hear another school from the other end. The occurrence seems to be an organized event. What could you say about that? Because do we have a problem really curbing this situation before they occur? If we hear a certain school that has banned and we don't know what next school will be, then do we have a problem that other schools really choose to be blind and really block their ears not to know exactly what is happening to other schools?
Thank you so much for that question. Earlier in this discussion, Nadia's talked about crowd psychology. There was a time we had this discussion in our WhatsApp group, and people ask, what is causing strikes? Then I ask a question in the group. I ask them, do you realize that as soon as it hits the news that school A has banned, a week does not end. Another school bans, another school bans, another school bans. Let me take you back to 2012. There was a time that time as a country we were under attack by terrorists. And it's like the news, the media was waiting for a terrorist attack for them to be able to broadcast it. And people will be able to share all these images of people who have been shot on social media. Until the president had to say that if you are found sharing anything, okay, I'm just trying to make an approach. It's like when you hear these things and then you jump to share them, you're actually glorifying what the terrorists are doing. Okay? And you give them the power to be able to attack more. Now, I'm coming back to the media people. Could it be that we are playing a role in all this? That is like you're waiting for school to burn down for us to be able to capture it and say that, oh, schools are burning. And then as soon as the students hear that another school has burned, psychology kicks in. Crowd psychology kicks in like, oh, they are banned. We can also be able to do it. And oh, we can also be able to do it. And then it turns into a series of fires across the schools.
I want to support what Simon is saying. This term, when the first school started burning and the next one, it was actually clearly known that students were saying they were being called by others in other schools. Bado nyi muko mnaongojea nini? So that is the mob psychology.
Yes.
They hint out, they even go next to the nearby schools. Mnaongojea nini? Si muchoma hata nyisi tumechoma. So that is where we are.
So there's that thing. So if there's a way we could be able to control the information, okay, I must say that, well, of course there are all these underlying issues. But also think how we publicize the negativity, because it's like, okay, I appreciate the news people, they're looking for news, that's okay. But we could be able to look at it from a different perspective. Could it be that we actually have a role to play in spreading the news about strikes and even make it worse, thinking that we are making the situation look better, okay? Now, let me also add something on the discussion about parents. I think also Madam Wynne touched on that. It's true that we are saying that teachers should be able to listen to students. That's okay. I'm not against that. However, I want to say categorically that it was not God's plan that children be taught manners in school. It was not God's plan, and it's not going to be that manners should be taught in school. Manners is something that should be taught at home. Well, I thank God for teachers who go an extra mile to become the parent that children never had. Because they're teachers like that. Who realize that, well, some of the kids who come to school, maybe they may come from a home where there are parents, but they are absent parents. And those teachers decide to become the parent that kid wish they could have. I thank those kind of teachers. However, that does not excuse us from not doing what we're supposed to be able to do at home. Manners is supposed to be taught at home. Saying thank you, being patient, preferring the other person instead of yourself. Those are things that should be learned at home. The moment you fail to teach those things at home, then you find ourselves in this crisis.
Okay, thank you for that. It's really what Dr. Hari said, that it's bigger than
Before
we thought.
Before you ask a question to Salome, I know you want to ask some questions to Salome.
Yes.
I just wondering when Simon is talking about all this and all of us. As we say, we are asking parents to have time with their children, teach their children manners and everything. Do you people realize that we can only give what we have? I mean, things like thank you, things like, appreciating what someone has done to you, things like, I don't know what are these manners.
Yeah,
I don't know what are these manners. We should find out what are these manners, list of manners that we want our children to get. Do our parents have them?
You can't pour
That's a
from an
huge
empty cup.
question.
That's why I'm saying we need more than that, something more than that.
Yes.
Seriously, because don't just keep singing all the time. That parents, please teach your children manners. They even don't know what are manners. Some of them, majority of them.
I agree with the doctor.
What are these manners? Are they using them? Do they? No. Let me just be very honest. While we are growing up, and for us, all of us, my brothers and sisters, I would honestly say that if we find ourselves in a school where some other students ban, that there maybe some students had decided to ban the school and maybe we are there, we will be wondering what is wrong with them. Because our parents brought us up well. And every evening we used to have talks with our parents, talking to us. We have meetings once in a month. When we come from school, there are talks. Parents would spend time to talk to us. They would even reward us for doing good. They would even give us gifts, and they would teach us so many things. How many parents can do that? How many parents can have time with their children, having like real meetings where they can spend 2 hours talking to them? And I would also say, not many people are gifted to do that. I would say my father, for example, was a true mentor, was like a teacher. And he used to give us his time, and he used to teach us. But surely, I know people are different, gifted differently. There are those who don't have. You cannot make anybody to become a mentor. Now, what we need are serious programs put in place whereby parents can have experts even help them do what they're going to do.
Thank you, Dr.
Let me just add something on what Dr. has said. When I started teaching, I taught in a boys' school. And there was this scenario that we were saying alcohol is bad. So students would go for half-term or school fees. Then there was this young boy who came back drunk. And so when we were trying to interrogate, it happened that the scenario was, it is normal, that is food in the house. So at times, some of these things, before we talk, we need to look at, are these people having what they are supposed to offer? At times, they give what they have, hoping that they are going to move on. So the issue is we need to mentor the parents to know what is supposed to be happening. Because I looked at that when I remember we had to tell the boy not to go home because it was not his tech. Alifika nyumbani akapewa kama chai, ndio akapewa pesa arudi. Makosa ni ya nani? And the parent, that is what the parent has. Thank you.
Thank you. Daktari and Simon, you talked about manners, and Daktari, you said that really you cannot give what you don't have. And Salome, your parents teach you good manners, right? What are these good manners? Can you list for us so that we can know some of these good manners?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bet. You've said that I mentioned for you some of the good manners that our parents are teaching us. First, I will start by saying that not all pupils, not all students are taught good manners as you think. Because simply why they are not taught the good manners, it's because if you check and if you just do a good research, you'll find out that most of the parents are not simply founded at home many times, because some of the parents leave their children with their house helps, or even they leave their children with their brothers and sisters. And you can find that mostly the rich families, those brothers and sisters, they can't teach their young brothers and their young sisters good things. Like those people who are in, let me say from 3 there, from 4, you can find that if a boy is using drugs and his or her parents told that you teach your young brother good behaviors, can that boy using drugs teach the young boy good things? And they always say that if you are with a small child and you want to teach him or her good behaviors, if you go somewhere with him or her, watch your mouth, watch your tongue. Even when you are with a small child, watch your mouth and watch your tongue. Because that small child is acquiring the knowledge from you. He or she is acquiring good things from you. And let me say that the good behaviors that a parents can teach to his or her children. Like, let me say, I am talking to my elder. I'm an elder person. I should not behave like this and this. I should not. Let me say, for example, I'm in a matatu car. Then I saw an old woman coming in, and I am sitting down. And let me say, for example, there were no seats still in the bus. I can stand up and let the old woman sit down. But you can see that not many people are doing that, because not all children are taught good behaviors by their parents. And so you parents teach us. I'm going to support Madam Winnie, what she said, that you parents teach us what you always do. Do not teach us to do this. Instead, we always let me use for example. We always teach us not to say a lie. Then suddenly a phone comes to you. Then you tell me that tell that person I'm not around. And just the moments moments later, you already told me you already taught me not to say a lie. So how do you expect me to acquire good behaviors from you? How do you expect me to understand that you are a good mother and you're teaching me good things? I should follow this and this from you. Instead, you're telling me to lie. So I cannot follow what you're telling me. And the good behavior that I can say, saying thank you, learn to appreciate someone who has done a good thing to you, and do not be jealous to someone. Let's say, for example, one of your classmates succeeded. Do not be jealous about him or her. And what I want to say to you viewers, you parents who are watching us, teach us what you always do. Yes.
Thank you, Salome. It's really deep. And the students are speaking. And I wish that the viewers who are watching us could really, really learn something from this. Nadia, are you guys allowed to take phones, to carry phones with you back to school?
We are not allowed.
Now, just tell me, how do you get information that certain schools are banned? How do you get that information if you're not having your phones with you? And tell me how you get that information and how that information you receive, whether it's give you an idea to do something nasty, does it impact you in a way? Does it encourage you to do certain things? Those are the things that we want to know, how you get the information that certain schools are banned and whether that information really is affecting you negatively or positively.
Thank you, Mr. Bet. So in school, number one, we're not allowed to carry phones. Yeah. So we have people around. We have our teachers. We have the non-teaching staff. We have a library where we get where we get newspapers. So we can get the information from the newspapers. We can get the information from our teachers. Some teachers come to class. They teach for 20 minutes. Yeah. Then the other 20 minutes, I don't really want to say what happened. Stories, rumors. It's so yeah, that's where we get the information. And exactly, the teacher needs mentorship.
So you're telling me that, okay, apart from the newspaper that you read from the library, you also get this information from the teachers?
Yeah.
Now, the part B of that is that how is that information impacting you? Is it affecting you negatively or positively?
Okay, now in school we have something we call an identity crisis. Okay, so if the neighboring school has done something, we also want to be felt. Our presence has to be felt, so we also join them.
Especially when the school is a big one.
Exactly. So if I'm in a national school, then the neighboring school is is a decimal school. Okay, so if they manage to ban a dormitory,
can do something. Why can't St. Mary's do it? And it's a small school.
Okay. It is very interesting how information snake. It is quite wanting, and at this point, thank you.
Can I just jump in and say this to our students? I just think it's important now that Nadia has mentioned this. We don't find our identity from costly problems. I think, let me just clarify that it's important. You don't have to ban school for you to be felt. There are other things that you can be able to do that are positive and you still get felt. Okay? Because we think because so and so or a certain group or maybe a certain school has banned down their school, now they are champions. But I think let's find other ways to be able to become champions. There's a school that I won't be able to mention the name, but the school has got like over 2,000 students. And that comes down to counting the cost. Because the research that was done recently, most of the students who are involved in strikes, when they were asked later on if they knew the consequence or if they counted the cost of what they're going to be able, they were like, I didn't think it was going to be this big. Like, they don't count the cost. And that's why I think you need to be able to sit down and let's reason. And also, us as teachers and mentors, as you're and school heads, as you're talking to our students, let us not just use threats. Because sometimes we want to threaten them. But if we can be able to get people to reason, like, if I do this, what will happen? If I do this, what will happen? I'm ready to be able to bear the cost of that. Okay? So it's okay, we want to be felt, and it's a human design deep inside of us, we want to be felt, but could we be able to find other ways to be able to express ourselves, to be able to find identity, to be able to create a positive influence instead of having to burn down schools?
Thank you for that contribution, Simon. Now, Daktari, we've really discussed about a lot of things, but I want to know, are there other factors that really propel or factors that affect the students that propel them to burning their own future? In this case, burning their schools. Are there other factors that really need to be looked at? Yeah, to be interrogated, that we need to sort 1, 2, 3. These are the things that really contribute to this. Because I don't think these students really, sometimes I don't think they're in their right minds. Could they getting influence from Russia? Could they be taking something?
Yes.
Just, I don't know exactly what, you are the expert on that area. I want us to tell us whether there are other factors that really affect the students negatively.
Definitely there are. There are other factors. This is, we always talk about the 20-80% rule, which always I talk about. What is it that is causing? We talk about cause and effect. Yes. Effects and their causes, relationship with these causes and the effects. And that is why we are asking ourselves, what makes the student ban the school? Definitely there is a cause. And those causes, the making of that decision to ban a school resulted from something else. And so, of course, we've said the mother of all this is lack of mentorship. But again, we can still look at other things beyond. We are saying that even the term or the symbol we are using today, banning their future, we are not just saying it is only banning the school is banning the future. We are also saying even drug abuse. Drug abuse is a problem in our schools. And some students who are not right in their mind can ban the school if they don't think well because they have been affected. Their reasoning is affected. So that the only thing they can do is to, cause problems in the school. Now, if your student is frustrated, and just like most of us have said that some of our parents don't listen to their children. When they go to school, the teacher is not listening to them. They are frustrated. And so just to release that kind of emotion and frustration, they decide even to do things like banning of schools, banning of the school. We've had also cases where some of the students are able to, from what most of us have contributed and said, you see, it's just out of mere curiosity, and we want to look like we are the heroes of the day. And you realize that even what Simon said, that let's find other ways of seeking recognition and glory. I would go back and say that we should also, as a government and as a society, go back to the old days when we used to do so much recognitions in other things like contests, like competition, like drama, like music. You see, when there is something we should glorify. Right. And we are glorifying this particular school because of their success and talent in music. And every school wants to do music and they want to be glorified. You see, now these students who are in school, primary and high school, have energy. They have energy that should be used. They are supposed to use this energy. If they are not using the energy in a good thing, they are using it in a bad thing. And so we cannot just ask students to sit in class, go to the dorms, go to class, go to take meals, and that is the end of it. We have to create platforms, despite the COVID-19. I should say that we have to really make sure that we give these learners a chance to go out, allow learners to do things, to compete. And I would even say, even the glory that we used to feel when we release results. That Alliance High School is the best school, St. Patrick's is doing this, Moi Girls, and like that. They are the number one. We rate schools according to their performance. That was also playing a role, because you realize that we will feel something about ourselves. We have been ranked. We are in the newspaper. You know, we can see in the news that Precious Blood, the Ruta Girls, is doing very well. You know, we are so happy. You see that? Now, today, we are trying to really make these students to live in a kind of a cave where they don't want to be heard. We want to hear them. We want to use the energy. Let's get back to the old days.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Dakari. I think our time is really running very fast, and I want to take this opportunity to really give you a chance to really give us your final comments as you give us your solutions. And I want to begin with Madam Winnie. Tell us your closing remarks and some of the solutions that you think should be employed or put in place to assist us to curb this situation from recurring in the future.
The final remark is that let us have communication channels open, and let us be listeners. Listen more, then act when it is necessary. And I want to tell our young viewers that doing the wrong is not being a hero. Be a hero on the right thing. Let us feel your heroism on the right or the positive things that you do to make life better. The Daktari has said, parents, if you are not in a position to mentor your child, seek for assistance. Mentorship is key, and it will give us the direction. Let us not watch the moral decay in the society going to worse or the worst points. Let us mentor at all times. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Winnie. Salome, tell us, speak to us and speak to the parents, speak to your fellow students. What is your take on this? What is your encouragement to all of us?
Thank you, Mr. Bet. I would like to first speak with the parents that I would like to tell you that let me touch on what Nadia said, that you parents and teachers, please listen to us. First, you parents, what I'm going to tell you that we as pupils, we are all relying in you. So if you listen to us, we will listen to you. And if you listen to our things, what we need, we will also listen to you, what you need us to do. And I will tell you as parents that always focus on your kids, because you don't know whether your child he or she is up on this because you are doing this and that to him or her. So always focus to your child. Do not let your child just go like that, because you don't know the way that he or she is passing through. And I would like to say to the pupils, to my fellow pupils, that let us follow what our elders are telling us. Let us not do the wrong thing. Let us go to school and focus on what took us there. Because let us not bring disasters, because you don't understand what your parent is suffering when you do this and that. Let's say, for example, me, I went to school and I did something bad. I'm not going to understand my situation, that what did my mother feel when I did this and this. So you as pupils, do what is right, focus on your studies, and understand the pain that your parents are passing through. Understand your background, and when you go to school, always remember to work hard. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant, Salome, for that. Nadio, your parting shot and your encouragement to all of us, to the parents, and to all of us. What do you think should be done as a way forward, as a lasting solution from your own point of view?
Okay. All being said, I would like to remind all of us that your thinking determines everything. So just change how you look at things, because it's all in how you look at it. In computer studies, we are told garbage in, garbage out. The information you consume determines how you're going to react to things. So to all our parents, to all our teachers, to all our viewers, change your thinking. Thank you.
Thank you. Garbage in, garbage out. So the teachers, you're listening, and the parents. Simon, your perspective. I just want Daktari to close because he has something that I really want him to react on, but I want you also to give your thought and your closing remarks and some of the solutions that you think should be employed.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Of course, I've shared a number of things in the discussion, but maybe as my party shot, I want to highlight a few things. I will start with a case study, okay, then make recommendations. There was a video that was on social media, actually 2 videos. One was of a school in the US whereby kids used to fight every day. Police would have to come because there, the police is like no more. If kids are fighting in school, police have to come. And what the parents did, they came up with something they called Dad's Day, okay? And during that day, every day, fathers would assign themselves duties. And every day there'll be a group of fathers just around school, not to watch what kids are doing, but just to be there to greet kids, okay? They just go and hang around school, say hi to children, ask them about all the days going on. After like 3 months, there was no single fight in that school. For 3 months, like the fight stopped. And even the kids confessed that, wow, like the environment feels so different, not because the fathers are there to supervise, but they were there to lighten the environment. Just for the kids to know that, wow, oh. And of course, you can't fight when your father is watching, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that was case study number 1. That I'm not saying that parents should be able to go to school and stay there. I'm saying that the solution lies with all of us. So let us not blame the generation, say that, oh, these are different generations. Let's not blame the teachers. Let's not blame the government. Let's not blame COVID-19. Let's put our heads together and say that it's our responsibility. We can do something about this. And I think when it comes down to, when I say that I can do something about it, then, what can I do then? Then comes in mentorship. Because even if the government say that, okay, we're good to do mentorship, but we don't take responsibility for the issue, it won't be able to change anything. If the students don't realize that we have a part to play, and you bring these programs, it will be government acts. It will be in the law, but you won't be able to implement anything, okay? Then the last thing is that as students, let's remember that there's a life after school. When we talk about banning your future, it's not literally banning. There's a government act right now that if you're caught banning school, you'll be put in the government black book, and that may ruin your life. Number 2, you come from a humble background. Some people have got a plan B. Like some kids come from rich families. Okay, someone was giving an example where they were in college. They went on strike, and for them they didn't have plan B. But one of the kids who led the strike was given transfer and they went to study in South Africa. Your parent is using his sweat and blood to pay your school fees. You've not even cleared the balance, but you forget where you've come from because of mob psychology. Because everyone else is doing it, you want also to be able to join remember this life after school, whatever you want. Whether you want to have a phone, whether you want to watch TV, whether you want to be able to have a new bus, you cannot have all these things. So let us think long term, let's do evaluation, let's say that, okay, fine, is this really worth it? Then if it's not worth it, then it can wait. It can be done another time.
Thank you, Simon Kilonzo, for that. Daktari, we've been talking about program, and mentorship. Winnie is a mentor herself. We have Simon Kilonzo, who also a senior moderator and a mentor. What I want to understand, tell us about the Cador and what Cador does, or what is Cador doing to provide solutions as far as this question is concerned.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Bet. Before I react on that, Simon was talking about the Daddy's Day. I watched the video and actually I saw the only challenge, I saw the parents, the dads who were going to the school, they were huge dads. And they are like,
It's a
they are the
common
likes
thing in
of,
the US.
I even thought it was a wrestling champions
No, those are
who
normal
are getting
fathers.
to the school.
Those are just normal
And
fathers.
the students fear. They will not do any mistake because they fear the dads, because the dads were so huge. So maybe, I don't know what's that. But anyway, Cador is doing a lot. And I believe that there is solution in Cador. In Cador, we realized this some years back. We are now 10 years old, and we realize that there is a problem. Maybe because we are only just one organization doing a lot. We need more organizations to come up so that they can do the same thing we are doing. Cador is having the families program, what we call Cador Families Program. And in the Families Program, we realized that for us to succeed in mentoring the society, we need to begin from the home. We used to mentor children, students in a program called the Cador Private Sponsored Learner Program, and even in the schools. But some years later, we realized that unless we mentor the family, we begin from father, mother, and children, that's the only way we can succeed. As I said earlier, problem is in the home. So Cador has a program where parents can even join. I would want you parents to join this program. That is Cador Families Program, where you can join other parents who have made a decision to journey with their children together. And we say we journey with their children together in investing in their brains. Cador as the leader, you as the moderator. And we journey together in ensuring that we give our children the best. Because you cannot be everything to your child. Cador can provide the experts, we provide the career icons, we provide the academic mentors, we provide the mentorship in terms of leadership, in terms of exposure programs, talking to our children just like they are our own, talking to our children in a language that they understand. Because we are talking about the 21st century enigma. And now we are saying, we need to invite you parents to bring your children on board. Don't just register the children, but register the family. So that as we mentor our children, we will be meeting once in a while as parents and talking about parenting. As I said earlier, we cannot be everything to our children. I want all of us to realize that, for example, in a school scenario, where we have a parents' day, and we have parents' discussions, we talk about academic performance of our children, and finally we ask, is there any parent who would want to say something? It's a Form 2 academic day. It's a Class 8 academic day. It's a Form 4 academic day. And we say, can we have any parents who are willing to speak to their children? You realize that there are 1 or 2 hands. Sometimes even there are none. And when you ask some parents to volunteer and speak, they say, no, I'm not a good speaker. I cannot speak in public. I cannot talk to children. You see, so what you ask yourself is, what about at their own home? Can those parents now talk to their own kids if they cannot talk to other people's kids? What I'm saying is we understand. We understand you cannot be everything to your child. Some of us are not gifted. Some of us are not talented to speak, to mentor anyone. What we need to do is to allow mentors to help our children and help our families. Let us join Cador. Let us be part of the problem. As we finish, I just want to talk to students. We said that the ear that we refuse to listen will accompany the head when the neck will be chopped off. The ear that refuses to listen will accompany the head when the neck is going to be chopped off. We will chop off the head. That's the head that is not listening. We are going to slice it. And when it is sliced, you realize that you will get down with it. I am telling you, students, listen. The law of you are laughing and you're making me laugh.
I was just thinking, who will chop? Okay.
The society, diseases, and disasters, like coronavirus, like many other things that are coming up. We say you cannot stop the storms of life from happening, but you can stand above the storms. Now, look, there is one law of human stupidity, okay? That is what we call the laws of human stupidity. And this law states that, that a stupid person is that person whose actions bring harm and loss to them and to other people. Who is a stupid person? A stupid person is somebody whose actions bring harm and even loss to them, to you, the doer, and the person who are you doing, the subject, the person who is receiving. Now, when you are banning your school, when you are taking drugs and drug abuse, when you are indiscipline and so many other things, you are stupid. You are acting stupid. And so don't be stupid, be intelligent. An intelligent person is that person who is doing, whose actions are helpful or bring happiness and joy and even benefit to you and the other people. And there is something interesting about this. Another law states that we underestimate the number of stupid people around us. We underestimate the number of stupid people around us. And I want you to understand that there are several people who are around you, seated around you, and they are very stupid. Please run away from them, because you can be as well as stupid, becomes as stupid as them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daktari, for that. It is very interesting that the law of stupidity.
The law of human stupidity.
The law of human stupidity. Okay, there are many. But you're talking about that stupid person and intelligent person. That is very brilliant. So if your actions are really causing harm to you and harm to the people around you, you're very, very stupid. Is that so?
Yes.
I got it right?
Sure.
But if your actions are bringing gain, to you and the people around you, you're very intelligent. Let us learn from Dr. Thank you very much, Winnie, for coming over. Thank you, Salome. You're a good student. You have a whole future ahead of you. Thank you, Nadia, for that. You also have a great future ahead of you. Thank you for the mentors who have come. Thank you, Simon and Dr.
We take this opportunity to wish our very special candidate,
Yes.
Nadia, success in this platform. We are so happy to have you. And the talent that you possess, we encourage you. So we wish you well in the KCSE 2021.
Thank you.
We know that next year you are in the university and you will be studying the course that you desire. We wish you success.
Asante.
We also wish Salome, who is a talented girl. She will be speaking to us in the afternoon, so to Nadia. We also wish you success. We want you to shine. Cador students must shine. Thank you.
Thank you for being Cador. My name is Philemon Bate, and I just want to let you know that if you have not learned something, kindly rewatch this program again. And this is my parting shot to all of you, that let us learn to listen to our students, to our children, and mentor them. Let us also, to all the students, let us not leave our long-term goals at the mercies of the short-term goals. You get that right? Let us not leave our long-term goals at the mercy of the short-term goals. May God bless you. Keep watching that dial. Cador digital program is there for you, and we invest in the brain. And we want to hope that we really impact you, and we've changed the way you're thinking, and we've packed in something that will go a long way into changing the society. May God bless you. See you next time.